a lot about Venezuela. Venezuela's got that election. Their president is like, I won the election. Trust me, we're not going to count votes. This is just what we're doing. I am still your president. And the rest of the country is like, this is a rigged election. And it probably is. So over 1,000 Venezuelan crime organization members in the U.S. Crime organization members. Yeah, let's get into it. Here we go. Now, what we're not supposed to talk about is Tren de Aragua. Oof, yeah, it's Venezuela's largest criminal organization. It's a gang, massive, massive gang. And we've got 1,000 of their cohorts here in the United States. The scary part is, and this is what you won't hear in most mainstream media, members were given the green light by leaders to attack law enforcement in the United States. Hey guys, do whatever you got to do. Don't care. We're a gang from Venezuela. We're going to have our way with these easy Americans that just give us all these resources, and all of our folks come here and they just take handout after handout after handout. And, we're here because we are a gang and they can easily infiltrate the United States because there's no southern border policy that works. I mean, the whole thing is just so contrived, and we're shocked when you've got gang members in the United States. Oh my word, that's not good. It's green light on police officers, on law enforcement, on sheriffs. And they gave a go. Oh, I am shocked that, one of the most dangerous criminal organizations in the world comes to the United States and, does something nefarious. Shocker, right? Internal safety bulletin sent out to Border Patrol saying to stay vigilant. I don't want you getting killed. Don't want you getting killed. Yeah, this is, here's the New York Post. Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua gives green light to members to shoot U.S. cops. Homeland Security memo warns. So we let them in. They're doing what they do. And now we're shocked. Now we're surprised. That's not good. They're going to shoot at our cops. Oh, okay. Well, the ones that are supposedly trying to prevent such shenanigans. Man, we have, with that whole southern border thing, you've just let them in hand over fist. They just come in, do whatever they want. And then we complain when actual crime takes place and, people get murdered, people get raped, and people get murdered. So what'd you expect? These are nice guys. The murder rate in Venezuela has dropped significantly. It's because they're all here. The murderers have been allowed to come into the United States. We know it to be true. We've had murders here. We've had multiple murders. And you know what most of the mainstream media does? That's not good. But, don't bring any attention to that because it's not a good look. Because that whole southern border thing, we've got the border czar running for president. And, whole thing's just a massive joke, isn't it? Massive joke. And it's not funny. I mean, it's horrific what's happening to some of the people in the United States. And what's horrific is also what's happening to the people in Venezuela. People are trying to get out. People in Mexico. You've got corrupt governments just allowing shenanigans to happen time and time again. And people are like, I got to get out of here. So I don't blame people for leaving Venezuela. But then again, the United States doesn't have to just, arms wide open, welcome them to the United States. That's not how this is supposed to go. If you are in need of political asylum, then there's a process. You go through that. It's not, all right, so you say you need political asylum. That's fine. We'll give you a little court date. You come to court and we'll talk about it. And maybe you will, maybe you won't. But in the meantime, why don't you just go wherever you want in the United States? Just make sure you show up to your court hearing. And that's just not happening, is it? And this is going on in Denver. This is according to a federal memo obtained by the Post. Members of the violent Venezuelan gang Tren de Aragua, green-lighted. Gang is already tied to hundreds of crimes, including the shootings of 2 New York Police Department cops who were trying to arrest one of its members in June. Remember that? And that's when a lot of people, heard the first of Tren de Aragua. I mean, what did people think would happen when Venezuela is literally emptying out its jail system? Where did they think those folks were going? Coming right here to the land of freedom, the land of hope, the land of opportunity, to the United States. And we're dumb enough to just say, oh, yeah, come on in. Yeah, Border Patrol will get you. They'll get you a number and we'll get you that mission over there. And then you'll take a bus from here to wherever you want to go. And you get a debit card if you're lucky. Go to New York City. Got a lot of resources. Credible human sources from Colorado provided information on Tren de Aragua, giving a green light to attack law enforcement. This is from Homeland Security office in Chicago. I mean, where did we think this would go? I mean, did we think this was, there's a bunch of violent criminals in the country? That should work out pretty good. That should be fine. No, what we're doing is we're just kind of, well, you know what? If we don't talk about it, maybe it'll go away. Maybe it'll just kind of disappear. And the assaults that are happening, well, when you let, millions of people into the country illegally, you're going to have some issues. Just based on sheer math alone, you're going to have some bad dudes. But when they're literally dumping out prisons and those folks are like, hey, I heard the U.S. is open. Let's go there. They barely even, cross-check any of the information systems they have. And we know that because people have been arrested and they couldn't work out who their identity actually was. And then those people go on to commit additional crimes. We've seen that time and time and time again. So why wouldn't this be happening is, what I always say, which is it is. And it's ongoing and it'll be happening moving forward. And this announcement here, which is green light on cops, that is particularly alarming. I mean, so we're just going to have, are we just going to have shootings in the middle of the street? The gangs don't want to draw attention to themselves, right? They try and not to do that. You'll notice that. I mean, they do whatever they can to kind of stay out of the spotlight because you put the spotlight on them, that's when you get arrested, right? That's when you get arrested. As you may know, we have a Tren de Aragua presence here in Chicago, so please be vigilant as you encounter Tren de Aragua members or affiliates during your investigative and operational activities. Be vigilant. The memo added that credible human sources from Colorado provided the intelligence to the 𝗥𝗘𝗧𝗏 Police Department. I mean, And this warning comes as Denver has gotten 42,000 illegal immigrants, more per capita than any other U.S. city, and many of them are from Venezuela. We keep hearing that. I mean, and we know it to be true. They're coming from Venezuela because they are trying to escape the ridiculously corrupt government there that just kept themselves in power by rigging yet another election. I mean, I don't blame them for leaving, but then with that comes that pull factor of, well, the United States has set it up so easy for these folks just to come here and just waltz on into the United States. And, you know, we, with our taxpayers' dollars, basically enable them to become, you know, part of the United States without any real reason other than I'm trying to escape political violence or whatever it is that their reason. That seems to be the usual go-to. And the vast number of these folks don't qualify for political asylum. So there's that. The prison gang, whose name means the Aragua train, a reference to the Aragua region in Venezuela, has infiltrated the U.S. by sending members posing as asylum seekers across the southern border. Oh, and there's that, right? We're just, you know, they've got the gang symbols tattooed on them. There's all kinds of different tattoos you get. And yep, I'm pledging my allegiance to the gang. We're seeing that. And then we're going, yep, just get on that bus over there. It'll take you to New York City. And then that's how we have, you know, these gang members shooting cops. And then we look at each other and go, oh my gosh, that's terrible. That's horrible. But we've known this is a quantity, and we've known that not only are we letting these types of folks into the country, they're bringing with them massive amounts of drugs. It's where all the fentanyl flows in, right? The southern border. Why wouldn't it? Manufactured in China, shipped to Mexico, Mexico cartel, just, you know, puts it together, distributes it, coming right up that southern border, which is just wide open. It's wide open. Now, it was so wide open, in fact, that President Biden actually had to do something about it. Oh, good Lord. Instead of doing more executive actions to make the border even more porous, I got to pretend that I'm actually pushing back, and we got to get these numbers down. The whole thing is just shenanigans for politics, isn't it? Just politics. It's just like, what is the prevailing wind of today as far as, what are people thinking about the border? Oh, they don't like that the border is just wide open. They don't like that all these folks are coming in that are not necessarily the best of people. They're not exactly church-going members with a stable background. What does the tattoo right here mean on these guys? What does that mean? Right? I mean, it's not brain surgery to figure out what's going on here. And here's a picture right here, tattoo with a clock on it. Its clock is seen on the arm of police shooting suspects Bernardo Castro Mata. Shot a cop. And we know that it's open season on cops. So what are we doing about it? Well, yeah, not a lot, right? We're being vigilant. We're being vigilant as our law enforcement, which we don't have enough of throughout so many cities in the United States, is told to be vigilant and on your toes and wear your body armor instead of trying to get these folks out. And I know there's campaigns to do that as well, but it's just the vast majority of stuff that you read in the media is hunker down, just let it all blow over. It'll be fine. It'll be good. And all I can think of is they're just going to get a foothold in the United States. And like every other gang that's come here, just do their thing, do their shenanigans. So you've already got that going on, though. I mean, we know that that's an issue. Tren de Aragua is in Portland. They are in Seattle, allegedly. I don't have any proof that they're in Seattle. But when they're a known quantity in Portland, Oregon, why wouldn't they be in Seattle? And they're in New York City. So they're all the way across the United States. And we've allowed them to come in. And we've had prior presidents say, hey, they're dumping all the people out of prisons and they're just going to come to your community. Well, guess what? That's happened. Interesting. Who would have thought? Who would have thought with the political instability in Venezuela that this would be the end result? I'm shocked. Yeah, nobody is, right? Nobody that's reasonable anyway. The other folks are like, I haven't heard about this whole Tren de, what do you call it? Like, it's a gang. They've been here for a long time. They're doing their thing. And, yeah, it's like that joke. What's a conservative? It's it's a liberal that just got mugged, right? And so it's, what's a conservative? Well, it's somebody that just got assaulted by Tren de Aragua, and now all of a sudden they have changed their border policy. Yeah, we can't allow that to happen. You're letting the bad guys in. I just got attacked. It's like that's what we're experiencing. So much of this is political, and it's like, oh, let's just let the southern border, no borders. We need no borders. That was 2020, right? That was 2020 during the whole George Floyd deal. Because that far left just hates borders. They hate law enforcement. They hate law. They just want to get rid of it all. This is going to be the greatest thing ever. And we saw how well the defund the police went. And we're still experiencing that. Police departments across the United States are shy on cops. And now what few cops we have are being targeted, given the green light, by one of Venezuela's most notorious gangs that have come through the southern border posing as asylum seekers. Doesn't that sound about right? It does. So what are we going to do about it? Make that vote count, right? You got to get somebody in the White House that doesn't go that route. Actually considers border security to be a thing. Actually, the border a thing. Got to get there. I'm not naming names, and I've got somebody in mind, but I think you can figure it out as well. All right. That's it for me. So Tren de Aragua, that is your word for the day, or words for the day. Trace words in there, right? Go from there. Thanks so much for being here. I'll catch up with you in the next one. Bye for now.